Hello, everybody. This is Gustavo, exam coach. Today, I'm doing this video in order to show you in more detail with a fully developed example how to go through each of the stages in this speaking task 2. In order to do that, let me share with you some slides. Here we are. Now you may see the slides. To do the TOEFL Integrated Speaking Task 2, first you need to read an announcement, then listen to a conversation, and then answer a question. Okay, so what is the first step? When you read a passage, such as this one here, it is an example of an announcement about some aspect of campus life. It says, a notice from the office of the university president. The university president would like to make sure that it is perfectly clear to all university professors, administrators, students, and any other members of the university community that university policy requires that no pets be allowed on campus. The only exception to this rule, absolutely the only exception, is animals such as seeing-eye dogs that are trained for use in assisting persons with disabilities. Any other pets, no matter how large or small, are unequivocally not allowed. Anyone who fails to follow this policy, be they faculty, administrators, students, or others, will face immediate action by the university. So these announcements are not so long. You may go over them in the 45 seconds they give you. How should you take advantage of your time when reading the passage? I'm quite sure probably you will cover this in the first 25 seconds or so. But the remaining time, you should try and take notes. It's very important that you try and capture some essential aspects. It's very important that you identify what is the topic in this reading passage. For example, the title may give you some kind of hint here. It's a notice from the office of the university president. So at least you know from this title who is issuing this announcement. But you need more. That's not enough. You need to know what is the announcement all about. All right? So try to identify that. In this case, what is the announcement? Is actually has to do with a prohibition, right, to take pets to the campus and some other details, right? But then there are also some main points, right? What are the main points? You need to identify what are the main points that support this topic that you have identified. The idea is that once you identify these main points, this will help you organize your ideas later on when you have to deliver your answer. Because it's very unlikely that after having just read for 45 seconds, you will retain all of it. So to avoid, letting some important issues escape your attention, your retention, you can take notes. So what should your notes look like? This is just one idea of how your notes should look like, right? For example, the topic of the reading passage is a notice from the university president on policy against pets on campus, right? Notice that we're not using full sentences. We're trying to take succinct notes. What are the main points? Okay, the first is that reminds the university community about the policy against pets on campus. Yeah, with the exception of animals such as dogs, right, for maybe people who have a problem or seeing disability. Yeah, and then a second main point is that the notice tells the community in campus that action will be taken against anyone with pets on campus, of course. Okay, so these are the main points in a notice. Everything else is accessory, is ancillary, is not so essential. Okay, so what next? Then you're supposed to listen to a passage. This conversation or dialogue will be between two persons, normally two students, who will discuss the announcement or the notice somehow, okay, and expressing their reaction, their point of view about that. Okay, so let's see transcript for a conversation. Okay, I will role play Okay, the two roles, a woman and the man. Okay, I'll change a little bit my voice. Okay, say the woman says, "You saw the notice from the university president?" "I certainly did." "From the tone of the notice, it sounded as if he was kind of upset, don't you think?" "I do." "I wonder why he created this new policy." "Well, it wasn't a new policy. He was just reminding us of a policy that already existed. But you didn't hear why he put out this notice reminding us about the policy." "No, I didn't. Did you?" "Well, I heard something. This is what some of the other guys told me. They said that one of the professors in the biology department has a pet snake." "A pet snake?" "Yeah, a really big one. Anyway, the snake got out somehow, it escaped, and got into the president's office somehow." "Oh, no." "Yeah, the president got quite a surprise when he sat down at his desk and found this snake under his desk." "Okay, now I see why the president issued the notice." A little fun, right? This is actually a conversation between two students, right, who are commenting this notice. What are the essential aspects in this conversation? Well, something important is that you have to identify the topic of the conversation and also the main points, right? This is essential at the time you are going to respond to the question, because this question will demand that you somehow connect the two passages, and especially that you show you fully understood what is going on in the conversation. So take a look. Main points supporting a topic, same as we did with the reading passage. So what are the main points and the topic here? Okay, the topic is easy. They both discuss why the president issued a notice, the announcement about the prohibition against pets. And actually, the details, the main points in this conversation are related to reasons, right? Since the topic is why the president issued a notice, actually, they gave or discussed reasons for that notice. The first one is they mentioned that the policy against pets on campus already existed. Then they also mentioned a fact that professor in a biology department had a pet snake despite this prohibition. Then it's a story about how this snake escaped and got into the president's office. And then also that was obviously the reason why the president wanted to remind the campus community, right, of the existing policy. Okay, so these are the four main points related to the reasons why the president issued a notice. Okay, what next? Once you've taken notes of the reading passage and the listening passage, then you need to listen to the question. The question, you can expect that the question will always ask you to connect the information in both passages somehow. It says here, how does the information in the student's conversation add to the information in the notice on the university's policy on pets? Yeah, this is very important because the question itself is revealing something here. Okay, take a look. Here, it's already telling you that the conversation adds to the information, okay? It's not opposing, it's not contrasting, it's actually adding, enhancing, right? The information that you were able to see in the notice. Okay, so it's very important that we take into account, okay, some details about these questions. We need to exactly determine what they are asking you, right? So, but normally this type of question is asking how the ideas in one passage and in the other passage are connected. Okay, so now you have to look at the notes you have taken on this reading passage and the listening passage and try to focus on the main points or topics, right? You need to describe how the ideas in each of the two passages are related. Yeah, this is important as part of your response. You're supposed to come up with a little plan, right? In the 30 seconds you're given, you have to come up with a plan to giving a very structured, coherent response. Okay, so how to do that? you can always recycle your notes. For the reading passage, notice that we take advantage of these notes we already had here, and also the notes for the listening passage for the conversation. But what we're adding in our response is the idea that the reading passage is a notice from the university president. This is what we can rescue from the topic of our reading passage. We have noted down that topic. Okay, we know that it's a notice. That's the reading passage. And what's the listening passage? The listening passage logically relates to the reading passage because it gives reasons for the notice. This key logical relationship between the two passages, you have to express at the beginning of your response, showing that you have understood the whole thing. It's very important. So take a look. Now, based on this plan, you are ready to structure your response. Okay? It's very important that in this, you are given all the information you need to respond appropriately. But what is the structure of your response? The structure of your response could focus on three parts. First is a couple of sentences in which you just make clear what's the logical relationship between the two texts, the two passages. Then, second paragraph, you'll use to highlight the main points of the notice. And in the third paragraph, you will highlight the main points of the listening passage. All right? So let's see. On making the response, you start with a topic statement, right? That shows the logical connection between the two passages. Then you need to include the key points of the reading passage, and then the key points in the listening passage. And it's not just a matter of giving or saying sentences one after the other. You need to connect your sentences, making them coherent, very cohesive, with transitions, right? Transitions is what shows a good flow and a logical flow of the ideas, because it's one of the aspects in which you'll be graded. Okay, so take a look at this sample response. This sample response, following the guidelines given here, you can tell, okay, in about 1 minute, actually less than 1 minute. It says, in this set of materials, the reading passage describes a notice from the university president, and the listening passage provides a student discussion of the reasons for the notice. The notice that is described in the reading passage reminds the university community about the policy against pets on campus, except for animals for persons with disabilities. The notice also tells the university community that action will be taken against anyone with pets on campus. In the listening passage, the students discuss the reasons why this notice was issued. The students say that a policy against pets already existed on campus. However, a professor in the biology department had a pet snake anyway, and the pet snake escaped and got into the president's office. The president most likely issued a notice to remind the campus of the existing policy. So that was it. That's an answer that we think can ensure the highest score in each of the rubrics by which you are examined in this speaking task 2. Okay, you can continue putting to practice these ideas, these suggestions, with a set of practice questions found in the same playlist where this video is located. Okay, so good luck with practice and see you on the next video.